Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day today. For this week's video, we are going to build the ultimate Epiphone. Now, ever since we did our Super Squire build, you guys have been bugging me to do the same thing with an Epiphone. If you missed the big Squire build, you can check it out. I'll put the link above right there. But anyway, we built a lower end Squire with high end parts and then compared it against a Fender Select, which is one of Fender's top tier instruments. So it was a really fun and cool experiment to do. So this week, we're gonna do the same thing with an Epiphone. Now, we couldn't just pick any Epiphone for our ultimate Epi build. We needed to pick something a little bit special. So this is just a regular Epiphone Les Paul standard, but obviously it's got this whole thing going on. So it's a root beer burst finish over a quilt top. This was only available in one retailer in Canada, so there wasn't a lot of these made. And I picked this one up, I think it was 350 bucks with a hard shell case, which is like 300 US bucks. The guy had said he took lessons for like a month and then it sat under his bed for a few years. So, you know, virtually untouched. This thing is in great condition. And so it's a little bit special just to start with, but let's talk about the mods that we're gonna do this. Now, there's certain spots on an Epiphone that are weak. We've got the pots and the switches. Now, if you've played a Gibson and an Epiphone back to back, that becomes apparent very quickly. So the output jack, the pots, the switches just don't engage with the same security as with a Gibson. So that's all gonna go. We're gonna gut the electronics on this, replace it with some new stuff. The other thing is the pickups. Now, I don't actually hate these pickups. These are the Alnico Classics. I think they're a pretty good sounding pickup. They are one-dimensional and they are quite muddy. So they're really warm if that's what you want to do. And when you're playing by yourself, it's not a problem. But when you add drums and bass and keys, this thing gets lost and starts sounding, you know, fairly generic pretty quick. So we're going to replace the pickups with something really cool that's going to add a ton of versatility to this guitar. Now, another area of weakness on Epiphones can be the tuning machines. So we're gonna toss these ones off and we're gonna replace them with some really cool locking keystone tuners that are it's gonna change the shape of the headstock really, because those keystones are gonna give it a more traditional look and they're gonna be way more functional. All right, first up, we are gonna take off the stock tuning machines and add some lockers. So we've got our socket, which is 3/8, and we are just gonna loosen all the top nuts. As you can see, we've removed our top nut and washer. Now what we need to do is take our Phillips head screwdriver. There's one retaining screw per tuning machine. Once those are off, these babies will pop right out. All right, so we've got ourselves a blank headstock ready for some new locking tuners. Okay, the next step is going to be removing our knobs. Now I've got this little tool that helps with that. It's just a little pry bar, so you put a rag down underneath to protect your top, slide this baby under the knob, and you can pop them off with ease. All right, she's starting to look a little bare. We've got the back cavity open on the switch and on your pots. We are gonna unsolder these and pull them all out. All right, we'll be back. All right, here she is. It's a sad state of affairs right now, but this is not the end. We are going to soup it up. So let's talk about the parts that we're gonna add. Okay, step one, let's add our Grover locking keystone tuners. So here's what they look like. Again, we are just gonna slip them in the back and tighten up the collars and we will be back. Check it out. We've got our Grover keystone tuners installed. Man, these things are beautiful. They are gonna add to the functionality of the guitar. It's gonna keep it in tune and make string changes a breeze. So here's what it looks like on the front side. If I can get that back in focus. Yeah, just great looking tuners. Very pumped about these. All right, here are the pickups we're installing. These are the Seymour Duncan P-Rails. These are amazingly cool pickups. So they're 3 pickups in one. They have a true single coil, a true P90, and you add them together for a humbucking sound. So these pickups are gonna really transform that Epiphone and give it a bunch of more tones. Okay, so the next step in our build is to slap these pickups in and the switch, route the wiring to the back cavity, and then commence with the soldering. Okay, we're back with an update. We've got the P-rails installed. We've got the new switch soldered up there, so we can close up this back cavity here. We've got some special wiring going on down here that I don't want to quite disclose yet, but I'm going to finish soldering this up, and then we'll be back with a little playing comparison, and we're going to show you all the sounds that this thing can do. So yeah, I'm liking the look so far with the black P-rails. I think they look good. I think they give it a little bit more of an aggressive look. But anyway, yeah, we'll finish up soldering and we'll be back with some tones. All right, you guys, we've finished all the soldering, everything's sealed up and ready to rock. Let's listen to some tones, but first we need to do an explanation of the special electronics because that's what makes this Ultimate Epi ultimate. So here we go. When all the switches are down, we've got ourselves full humbucker, humbucker together, humbucker bridge. Here's where things get interesting. So you pop this bottom knob up and you're in single coil mode. So single coil neck, single coil together like a telly, and that is hum canceling, so 2 singles together, and then bridge single. Pop it back down, you're in full humbucker mode. When you pop the top switch, P90 neck, P90 together, which is hum canceling again, and P90 bridge. So you can just, with a flip of a switch, change this Les Paul into pure single coils or pure P90s. Awesome, right? When you think of a versatile guitar, you might think of like a Strat or maybe like an RG or a PRS with coil splitting or something. But what I like about this setup is I can like totally change the guitar. So just pop this one up, single coil Les Paul. Pop this one up, P90 Les Paul, and I don't have to have just a P90 dedicated guitar. This sounds awesome, and when I just do this, back to full humbucker, it's got one more trick up its sleeve, and that's when you pop both switches up. When you pop both switches up, you've got humbuckers again, but this time in parallel. So it sounds totally different than series, which is a regular humbucker. So there you go, humbucker series, humbucker parallel, all 3 switches. So many combinations, but I don't find it overwhelming because I can just think of it as changing the overall tone of the guitar just via P90s, single coils, or two flavors of humbucker. All right, so that was a quick look at the Ultimate Epiphone. I'm pretty pumped with it. Yeah, it's pretty fun to play on and suddenly change the guitar just to a single coil Les Paul or a P90 Les Paul just with the pull of a switch. Really unique. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing on it. Obviously, I just put it together like half an hour ago and quickly laid down some tracks. So I think we'll be able to dial in better single coil sounds or better P90 sounds. I just used the same tones for all of them, just so you guys could hear the difference. But yeah, when we actually put it through its paces, I think it's going to be an awesome Epiphone. Now next week, we're gonna use the Ultimate Epi in a comparison. We cannot compare this just to a Les Paul Standard or something like that. The Epi has way too many tones on hand, so I think we're just gonna like throw caution to the wind. I'm gonna pick like 5 American high-end guitars, like an American Standard Tele, an American Standard Strat, and see if these single coils can sound anything like what they're supposed to sound like. Something high-end with a P90, and then of course a Gibson. So we're gonna throw all the high-end guitars we can at this thing and see if it can survive. So stay tuned next week for that one. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed these build videos and the follow-ups to them. So stay tuned next week for a great video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so by clicking right here. You can head over to the tab store up here to check out some of those. And other than that, we'll see you guys next week with that comparison. Take care, you guys.